Hi guys, I've been giving you warnings on THOR Motor Coach. I own the 36.1. Bought it on April 1st. Time when it gets back, it will roughly have almost 6,000 miles. Zero camping time. The main culprit, after the Jenny and everything else, numerous problems. But the big slide that I can't pronounce the company name, Lippard, whatever, is unengineered. I claim that this wall is out of square, with this slide out is out of square. But again, THOR Motor Coach is the experts. They don't want to know nothing. This is the fourth time it's going to be fixed. The third time it was fixed. I think it's the third time. I could be wrong with that. Okay, yeah, they might get me on that. But they put new track systems in and whatever, since this motor over here ate up the aluminum slide. You can look up Lippard. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but they have their track system is engineered for airplanes. I feel sorry about airplanes. You're going to see crashes if that's true. It has two main track systems on this wall, top and bottom, and this wall, top and bottom. It has two little teeny motors, okay, that pull in this honker of a slide. I mean, a honker of a slide, okay? But I want to show you how disorganized the factory is. Now, this is the factory. It's at the factory, and they are totally disorganized. Now, it is supposed to be back at the end of the month. Now, let me ask you a question. When you are building a house, and a motorhome is similar to a house, unfortunately, but if you're building a house, would you paint it? Because there's numerous paint issues that they never addressed. Will you paint it before you physically worked on the repairs? Just God forbid you did a screwdriver mismatch or whatever. Again, I'll email you on Monday when they tell me they found nothing wrong. But if they pull this slide out, completely out, and level the coach and put a plumb level on this wall and this wall, and then squared it up, I bet you they would find this wall out of square. And if they did the same with the slide, I bet you would be out of square. Now, this slide has been eating the top track. You can look at my other Do Not Buy Warning Will Robinson, Do Not Buy a THOR Motor Coach. They do not have their act together on these slides, because they don't. Now, ever since I've been coming home, it's over a 400-mile trip, I hear click, 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 click. And this bottom track would pull out this slide, okay, and I would hear all kinds of whistling noises and everything else like that. Now, the reason why I'm going to not prove to you, but tell you my opinion, when this guy, what is his name, Mark, oh, what a genius he is. But anyway, this Mark, he found out that the bottom track was not touching the assembly because he had to shim it out over an inch to touch this big slide. Yeah, baby. Guess what's not in square? But they'll never know. I have an issue with the bathroom. That's why I have a funny feeling the whole coach is not square. This wall right here is not plumb. Because when you enter the shower, now a shower door we all know, can be adjusted so the magnet door helps the magnet door close on the door. Now, let's assume I don't know the total height. When I get it back, I'm sure they're not going to correct it physically. There are two tracks, one that screws to the wall and one that, if it's out of plumb a little bit, you can make it plumb. The bottom of that main track is pushed as tight as it can on the bottom of the shower door, and I'm having trouble closing the bottom of the shower door, but you can't push it in anymore. And the top of the track is almost 1.25 inches out. Okay? So this wall, let's see here, see if I'm right. Okay. This wall right here is not plumb. It's not called level, it's called plumb. So if you take a tape measure and measure from the bottom to here, and the top from here to here, you're going to get two different measurements. That's why this wall is not plumb. The door, not the driver's side, but the main door, when the coach gets hot, you cannot open the door, and it mainly is scary from inside the coach. The screen door and the main door cannot be opened. It opens perfectly fine when the coach is cool. The minute any sun hits this wall, that door goes totally out of square, and you're inside and you feel like you're locked inside. But let me show you these two geniuses, okay? Now, this is coming from THOR Motor Coach, and I want to show you how this is organized. And I had to tell them that they had a appointment on Monday. On the 15th, July 15th, they have a appointment with Lippard to figure out who to blame. Let's see. This guy is a genius, let me tell you. Your coach was due to come back from paint today. That was Friday. So let's see, today is Saturday, so the 12th, 7/12. Okay? From the paint shop. But he was doing the extra mile, but he wanted the it to be buffed because the paint job, guys, when I tell you, it is absolutely terrible. So as it stands this morning, we do not expect to hear back early next week. I'll update you again on Monday. Now, so again, since they have the coach well before July 4th, I forget when they picked up the coach. It was a Friday when they picked up the coach. I haven't had any updates because they didn't work on it, guys. They thought, oh, it's no big deal. And when they saw the coach, they go, oh, crap. Well, no problem, geniuses. This is why I wouldn't deal with them, okay? So, being that it wouldn't be early next week, let's go to this one. This was Friday, July 12th, and I made a big stink referencing this email, okay? So now the company doesn't know what the left hand and the right hand is doing. That's why they're totally disorganized. We have your coach at the paint shop this week. Why do you have the coach at the paint shop when you have to pull a big slide to find out what's going on? Okay? Wouldn't it make sense to do the repair first, just in case you have to paint something? Hello, geniuses. Okay? Get here, you can read this. Attention, make sure the all corrected has been Monday, July 15th. We have leopard, whatever, technician coming over and do the job as a joint project. Because they don't know how to fix their own coaches. They're trying to blame Lippard. When I can tell you guys, the coach is out of square. The whole coach. I used to build houses. It's not hard to find out that something's out of square. If you got to shim something from, let's say it's 4 foot. I didn't measure the exact slide. But let's say the height from the top of the slide out to the bottom of the slide out is 4 foot. Which, let me see, I could be wrong. It's probably closer to 5.5 feet. 5.5 feet. From here to the bottom is 1.5 inches out. Yeah, baby. Guess what, guys? Ding, 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 ding. Maybe a light bulb will finally shine. But, yeah. Just on that itself, they should be able to say, yeah, you know, guys, we got a problem. Something's out of square. Hate to tell you guys, they got the body that's out of square, and they have more than likely this big slide out of square. But they won't realize it. Yeah, baby, look at my other Thors. But here, I'll give you interesting readings. Okay? All right? Again, I had to tell him about this, and then went, oh, crap. But my big thing is, if you have to do I'm talking just not the slide. I'm talking about major repairs. Major repairs. Wouldn't the last thing you do is bring it to a paint shop? Common sense. THOR Palazzo does not have common sense. Again, guys, you know me. Always having fun. But, yeah, baby. Just absolutely wonderful. Do not buy. Give them a year, year and a half. Maybe they'll get their act together. All right, guys. Have a pleasant day.